When you walk through a storm, hold your head up high and don't be afraid of the dark. At the end of a storm, there's a golden sky and the sweet silver sound.
Hello and welcome to another HomeBhoys Extra. This is Harper here and I'm flying solo tonight. I'm with it, Joe, Jason and Paul, my usual comrades who join me for the live phone-in show on a Monday night. And you're actually spoiled this week because this is your second bonus show after Jason done his Athletic Club del Bilbao show last night, which I'll still to check out, but everybody says it was a great listen. So I'll get to that soon. But as I said, this is our second bonus show this week, and we're bringing it back to Celtic tonight. And I'm absolutely delighted to say, I'm flying solo, but I've got a very, very special guest on the line. And I'm absolutely delighted to say I'm joined by former Celtic captain Tom Boyd. You there, Tom?
Yes, I am. Thank you very much.
Oh, delighted, man. With a few technical difficulties there, but we're hooked up now.
I think it's more my side. I'm not quite literate that way. So I've asked my daughter, who's 11, to try and sort me out. So I'm using her Skype at this moment in time. So she's a bit more computer literate than myself.
Happy to listen, man. It wouldn't be a HomeBhoys show without a few technical difficulties, so don't worry about it.
Okay.
So our listeners are probably wondering why we've got you on tonight, and it's because there's a new documentary coming on BT Sports 1, Walk On, this Monday the 14th of April at 10 p.m. It's making its debut. It's a documentary, Walk On, which obviously tells its own story. It's about the song You'll Never Walk Alone. But, I mean, Tom, you're involved with it, with the film, so can you tell us a wee bit about this documentary, what's happening with it and how you got involved?
Yeah, well, basically just yourself, I got a phone call and just asking as probably more a player, but obviously a supporter of the football club, to ask what You'll Never Walk Alone meant to both the support and to the players, and obviously the connection between Celtic and Liverpool because of it. So that's the gist of it. That we've asked as a show running of the significance of this great song that so many clubs have now adopted as an anthem for the football team. So they sort of came, and their wisdom came along to myself and tried to convey the feelings of what I felt that it meant to myself and to the football club, and I think that's going to be used on Monday night, on Monday the 14th, I think you said, wasn't it?
Yeah, Monday the 14th. So I mean, you are appearing in the film, like.
Yes, I'll be on there somewhere. I hope we're looking quite well.
You've not seen it? You've not seen it back yet, no?
I haven't seen the edited version. No.
Right.
They might make me sound quite good if it was that. Maybe somebody lip sync for me or something. I don't know.
So I mean, let's talk a wee bit about You'll Never Walk Alone. Now, we can talk as well as from a supporter's point of view, because of course I know fine well that you've been a Celtic supporter all your life, went to the games as a child with your dad and I think probably your granddad. I remember a while back you were on the Lost Boys podcast. You were one of the first guests Chris McGuigan had. And if you remember, he had a wee quick fire round at the end. And the very last question was the Fields of Athenry or You'll Never Walk Alone. And you said You'll Never Walk Alone.
Yeah.
I mean, it is such an emotional song for Celtic fans. I mean, there's probably the big three: the Celtic song, as I mentioned, the Fields of Athenry, and You'll Never Walk Alone. But why do you think You'll Never Walk Alone has been the one that's really the big one for the Celtic fans, like,
Well, I think simply the lyrics that come with You'll Never Walk Alone, both the Celtic song and the Fools of Athenry have different connotations. But certainly You'll Never Walk Alone. It's a stirring song, and the lyrics, have sum up what it is possibly to be a football supporter. Obviously, the Celtic, through the thick and thin down the years, which will have very success. But in that, saying that, the supporters and the support will still be there no matter where the football club go in the world. And they are worldwide now. The supporters all over the place, and this is a connection. This song of knowing that the support will be there for the football club, be there for the fans, be there for the players and for everything that's connected with the football club. And I think that just sums up perfectly what it's like, or what it is meant to be to support a football club.
I mean, You'll Never Walk Alone, it's such an iconic song. And when I think back, I'm 40 years old now, and when I think back to like when I was a kid and started going to the games, I was actually quite late. I was in early teens before I was allowed to go to Celtic Park, should we say. And when I think of You'll Never Walk Alone, it's actually quite a sad song as well as a celebration, because I mean, when you think, the first thing I think back to is obviously the terrible events surrounding Hillsborough.
Yeah.
And I was in the jungle the day the Liverpool team came to Glasgow, the first game they played in. And I can remember singing it in the jungle that day. I mean, I don't know if you were at the game yourself, but that's something that I'll live with me forever, like, no?
Yeah. Yeah, well, we've had quite a few encounters with Liverpool down the years, and I would like to say that our fans sing it far better than the Liverpool fans, which is without any question. The key thing about this, you get football anthems and chants and songs that are adapted for football teams, but and certainly in this song, in this instance, the words are never changed.
Mm-hmm.
It's for what the song is. You're right in what you're saying. It sounds a sad song all the way back at the start, but it's been turned into a celebration for the support to go and support the football club and support their team. And the words are so apt to supporting a football club of what the range of emotions that you're put through as a football club, and knowing that you will always be there as a football support. So that's from that the words not being changed in any way certainly says a lot for the song. Normally, in some of these songs you get in chants, and they certainly have changed. But I think that's a great tribute to the song, that you hear it in full, and it applies equally. And so you say to being a sad song, it applies equally to a football chant, and how much the support do love the football club and where they would be. And I think it's just a very special song. When, as you said, every time I've heard it, and especially in the Liverpool games, when you get everybody in the stadium would sing it. But no matter when it's heard, generally the hairs in the back of the neck start to stand up. It's just a fantastic song and a fantastic anthem for us to have adopted as one of our favourites.
I was thinking about it today, and not to go too somber here, and I think about a few friends I've lost young age as Celtic fans, and You'll Never Walk Alone is always the last song in the churches everybody's leaving, and there's never a dry eye, but it's also uplifting as well. It gives you a pride and it gives you a togetherness,
Totally, and I agree, and I repeat what it says there, and just the way that it makes you feel, and I think that the comfort that everybody gets, whether be it at funerals or whether it be at a football stadium, I think it's a comfort that everyone can take from the song. Everybody has a special connection with this football club. Everybody's had instances, they've heard this song, whether it be at funerals or it just grabs you. As I say, as I've mentioned about the hairs in the back of the neck standing up, but it just grabs you. And your emotions, certainly, I've seen grown men cry, when this song's been played, especially in these Liverpool games, and obviously you're quite right, and you're saying at funerals and stuff like that, and I think that's just the key thing, that it's just a great iconic song, that simple lyrics that it has, but it's so powerful in its words, and the simplistic words that it has, that it certainly brings makes you very emotional, certainly at games.
So let's take it to you as a player now, rather than a supporter for a minute, right now. Now, I was very lucky to take part in one of the Football Aid games at Celtic Park last year, and I stood in the centre circle, and they played the Champions League music, blah blah blah, and obviously the stadium's empty. But it was the first time I really grasped the vastness of Celtic Park, and I tried to put in my mind, "You'll Never Walk Alone" being sang on European night, because let's be honest, "You'll Never Walk Alone" has become so big part of the Champions League nights. I mean, it used to be the Champions League music came on, that gave you the tingle, but now it's like, even if you're like, I'm in Ireland at the minute, if I'm not coming over to the game, I've got to be in the pub in time for "You'll Never Walk Alone." That's the main part. So, I mean, tell me, can you put into words how it feels to be standing there when the Celtic support rise to a man? And that's what makes it so special, because the support does rise to a man. It's everybody's singing, and you can feel the electricity even through the television. What it must be like for a player standing on the pitch, like.
And you mentioned that about Celtic Park when you played on it. It's been dampened down a wee bit. It's been made shorter for probably those days when I played it. I was first at Celtic Park when they had the old track round it. But yeah, talking about the song, as a player, when you walk out there, it just when you start to hear it echoing through the ground, and the roar starting to come up when the voices are coming, and everybody's singing it in harmony, and it just fills you with pride. And knowing that you do have this backing, this wonderful support that you have behind you, and it can only help inspire you. And certainly on many occasions that has been the case when you've heard this song, that you know the crowd are giving you full support, and they want you to go on and do well. And I think that has certainly been an influence in many games down the years, that once you hear this song, that certainly players take it on board and feel the passion of what the supporters are singing about, and certainly feel the passion in their voices, and certainly how loud it becomes when you're certainly at Celtic Park in a full house. And I think that certainly gives an inspiration to many football players on there that have played through the graced Celtic Park. And you can through them all, that certainly that song has had an influence on them, and how they've approached the games and how they've adopted it, or taken to the games because of that song. I'm sure it certainly has an influence. It certainly helped me on many occasions when you started singing it, So it's certainly fantastic to be able to hear that, and knowing that you're getting full backing in the football support.
You often hear players from these top sides for Barcelona and Juventus and Ajax and stuff like that. They come out after the game and they talk about Celtic Park being, there's nothing like it. They've not played anywhere else for an atmosphere like that on a European night. And I always think that "You'll Never Walk Alone" is the trigger for that, because you see them standing, and there's sometimes some of these guys who are top international players who've played all over the world in the biggest stadiums, the biggest crowds, but some of them seem to be standing there with their jaw dropped, like.
Well, I think when you hear the crowd, and when they're all in song, and when they're certainly together in this song, the noise that 60,000 can produce is phenomenal. I think that's the biggest thing, as well as everybody singing in key, and that's why I don't sing it, because I'd be the one that would be singing off key if you could put a mic in front of me. But it is deafening, and it must be an intimidating atmosphere for these supporters who, as you say, they've played in World Cup finals, but they don't have this level of passion that is given from the Celtic support in terms of certainly European nights, when you see this, and quite rightly lauded for the support they give to the players on the pitch, and I think that certainly would be an intimidating factor. As you say, I think that starts it off. That's the setting of Champions League night. Yes, you can hear the priest and the Champions theme music coming on. That raises a bar, but I think the catalyst and the start of all this, certainly "You'll Never Walk Alone," and certainly quite a few players, fantastic players, have certainly been intimidated because of the noise that has been generated by the supporters.
So let's bring it back to the film. Of course, we're talking about the Walk On, the documentary that's going to debut in BT Sport 1 this Monday, 14th April at 10 p.m. Now, I don't know, do you know too much about what other Celtic involvement there was in the making of the film?
No, I couldn't tell you. I think they were trying to get quite a few. Certainly, obviously, there's the Liverpool side of it as well. You know, they're getting some ex-players and probably through, unfortunately, the Hillsborough tragedy. You know, they've probably got some family and probably the comfort that they have been getting from the backing they've got through this song from so many different avenues. And certainly, I'm not quite sure of the full context. Basically, what I'm saying, but certainly, I think it'll be a wonderful watch. To be able to see this, and I think very emotional as well. Because obviously the song does tug at you. Can make the hardest man. Have a wee melting point kind of thing. So yeah, there's certainly. I've not seen the edited version, so I'm a wee bit in the dark of it. But yeah, certainly sit down and watch it and just make sure I've got plenty of tissues with me.
Certainly, I'm going to be linking this podcast to a blog that'll go up on hailhailmedia.com tomorrow, and we'll have the full synopsis that was sent by BT Sports, and given the description of what's going to be going on in the film. And it does seem to be that it's probably going to be 50% Liverpool, but there's going to be a big Celtic connection in there, obviously. But I think there's going to be a few surprises in there for a lot of Celtic fans, because reading some of it, I mean, I never knew that teams like Borussia Dortmund and Sao Paulo and New York Cosmos and stuff like that had taken on as an anthem for them as well. So it just shows you how it's travelled. And I like to think a wee bit that these are clubs that have Celtic fans have made a friendship with, and that's why they've picked it up.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think the influence now, and as I mentioned at the start of the podcast, about how big the Celtic support is, and it is worldwide. Mm-hmm. And now the modern era, we can hear and see so many football games around the world, and certainly that I'm sure that has been a catalyst, and all these teams sort of adopting that. Certainly, the way that they've played the first probably at Celtic Park, and the way the fans have sang it, and the version they've sang it, and the passion they've sang it with. I'm sure that certainly has been the reason and the factor, because it is. I know there's a sombre element to it in terms of the words of the song, but it is a fantastic football song, and certainly when you hear it at Celtic Park, it certainly keeps you going.
There's something one thing I'm quite excited about that BT Sports done this. I mean, they've got this BT Sports Films, and it's a strand of documentaries, an hour long. They've had other ones that I've heard called Silver Lining, Football Outposts, Winning Ugly, and I've seen a couple of them. And this one particularly has excited me because as a Celtic fan, obviously, but I don't think there's enough Celtic stuff out there that the rest of the UK get to see, because there's such a romantic story. There's such a great history with the club, and of course Liverpool FC as well. But this is something that hopefully will bring attention to a lot of people, and open up the song and the history of the song to a whole new generation, maybe younger people who don't realise the significance of it.
Yeah, and obviously opening up the football club hopefully as well. I think the slight problem that they do have in Champions League football, where they are in Scottish football in terms of the media, this is an opportunity, certainly from the club's point of view, to be able to show what we have at Celtic Football Club, and the catalyst and the key thing of that is the support who sing this fabulous song, and that's something that we want to be proud of, and show the world that we have a fantastic, one of the best football supported teams in the world, and I think that certainly will help. This programme will certainly help that, and you say so. That the connection and the history of what this song means to everybody at Celtic Park.
Well, Tom, I'm not sure if there's really much more we can add to that. I think we've covered everything. I mean, You'll Never Walk Alone. It's a song that's been with me since I was a Celtic fan, since I was a kid, and it's going to see me right through my life. And it's a song that's never going to go away. And it's a song I'm very, very proud of. And I'm just delighted that BT Sports are doing this.
That's right. I think you're right there when you say that it's a song that will never go away. I think just because of how high it's held, there are songs that have come and went in Celtic's history all down the years, and there's so many football songs that the great supporters have produced about Celtic. But certainly this one has certainly caught the imagination, and I think it's certainly because it tugs at the hearts of so many people and the emotion that it brings. I think that it will stay with us forever for so many different reasons.
Well, Tom, I just want to say thanks very much for joining us tonight, and I'm looking forward to seeing you on the silver screen, man.
Yeah, could you just make sure that I've not got a mic in front of me and start singing it for an alley? You get a version of Celtic Park, the fans at Celtic Park, possibly just giving us a wee chorus of it. That would be nice, rather than myself giving you a wee tune. Well,
Tom, you asked for it, and that's what we're going to play tonight. So here is the Celtic faithful singing "You'll Never Walk Alone."
Yeah, well.
Cheers, man.
When you walk through the storm, hold your hand up high, and don't be afraid of the dark. At the end of the storm, there's a golden sky and the sweet silver song of
bitterly cold evening at Celtic Park, but nothing can disguise the genuine emotion as the Celtic supporters in their unique way pay tribute and offer condolences in song